All right, now we are going to talk about phase 3 of your training module. It is due on Sunday. So this part of your training manual, we are now shifting to look at the evaluation aspect of your training manual. So phase 3 consists of multiple parts. The first part is to create a process evaluation. Keep in mind, the process evaluation is not to measure student learning or student outcome. This is an evaluation of the actual training that is conducted. For example, was the trainer or instructor well organized? Did the instructor address my questions? Things of that nature. So it's evaluating the process, the training course as a whole. So if I was evaluating you as a trainer, what should be things I look for? What critique as a trainer would you find beneficial to gauge your approach to training? So determine if training program is being followed. And you're going to create a form so that somebody could use this form and evaluate. Again, the example, was the trainer instructor well organized? Yes, no. It could be on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being poor, 5 being outstanding. How does the instructor reach that line of topic? This one needs a minimum of 5 questions. All right, so that will be 1 page or 2 pages, however many pages you go, but that needs to be isolated as 1 document. Then you would start a new page to go into all the other ones. So each separate thing needs to be its own separate page. Now, if it takes 2 pages, that's fine, but I don't want just a continuous sheet of all of these evaluations. So the first one, process evaluation. Now moving down, we're going to look at creating impact evaluation. So now we are focusing on the actual learners, the students of our training. Create a trainee reaction assessment for trainees with a minimum of 5 questions. The big thing to remember with these impact evaluations is you need to tell me how you will interpret or analyze the form that you create. So next, you'll also need to make a pre-test and a post-test with answers with a summary of how to interpret, analyze the form. For example, what is pass? What is success? What is the threshold you require your students to accomplish to be considered success or to pass to move to the next level? The pre and post tests are 2 separate documents. It can be the same questions. That I'm not particular about. A lot of people use the same questions, but for this training manual submission, they need to be 2 separate documents. Make me a pre-test and then make the post-test, and the post-test needs to include your answers. Again, minimum of 10 questions for that pre-post test. You need to create a behavior assessment for trainees. This has a minimum of 5 questions. This is something that you would typically give 3 to 6 months after training to see how retention is happening. Have you changed their behavior? It's why a behavior assessment. That's what we're looking at here. And again, don't forget the summary of how to interpret, how to analyze the form. Finally, for this phase 3, you need to write at least 6 CRTs for your training manual. Those CRTs need to map to specific objectives, to those PBOs. Put it in a chart or a column format. So you have the PBO listed, you have the CRT, and then you have an answer or description of how they are mapped or how they are connected. So if you had a PBO that referenced how to don and doff a respirator, how to put on a respirator, how to take off a respirator, if that was your objective, given I didn't state it as a PBO, but if that was the objective you were trying to measure, how are you measuring that? You need to close the loop. So if that is my PBO, respirator on off, don doff, how can I demonstrate success or failure from my students? And that's what this final chart will do. So again, this helps you. It's an exercise to really map out those PBOs from phase 2 and then how we actually measure them. And that's why during phase 2, where you put, I would measure doing this, that will really help you with this phase 3 portion of your manual. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Happy to assist. I've had a couple people say the feedback on these videos has been very positive, so I will keep doing that to kind of give you a a good starting point. But again, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out and have fun with phase 3. We are getting close to the end. So we have phase 4 and a couple other things next week, but let's focus on phase 3 this week. Everybody have a great week, and we'll be talking soon.